Tom Campbell here. I and MBT Events hope you like this video. It was made possible by donations from our supporters. If you're one of them, thank you so very, very much. If you're new to MBT and find something of significant value in our videos, please consider supporting their production through our Patreon account or through a one-time donation. It would be very much appreciated. The links are in the description below. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Tom. We have a question about Tom's Park submitted by Anthony. And Anthony says, I've been visiting Tom's Park for a while now, must be at least 20 times. I put my feet in the lake and fish instantly come to me. I have run with deer, talked to squirrels, and even been with ants in the blades of grass. One thing that has been a constant: a man, short, stocky little guy. First time, I saw him building a wooden park bench. Another time, he was building a few of them. There's a large recreation building at the park, and when I went in, he was there cleaning up, just cleaning tables and putting chairs in place. One time I saw him standing outside the rec house, and he was pointing across the lake. So I went with a small rowboat across the lake, found another small cabin, went inside, but all that was there was a chair and a table with stairs going up to the second floor. Another time I was actually talking to him, but he was responding with a muffled voice. I couldn't understand what he was saying. Today I went for a visit. Oh my goodness. Tom, I saw him outside on the porch, and he was calling my name. With his arm up in the air, I was able to stay calm, but I'm laughing as I'm writing this. He hugged me and smiled at me. He asked me if I was hungry. I said no. He said I better eat. The next thing, I'm inside and I'm eating a soup or a stew, and it had some potatoes in it, and he's sitting there smiling at me. It was good soup. I see him, but I don't see myself. So I ask, "Are you the LCS?" I get a big smile and he says, "I am here." Now I know that he means that he is just here and not the LCS, but I'm not sure. Then we were standing side by side. He had his arm around my shoulder, and as he moves his arm back and forth, the landscape swipes like in a video from bottom to top in bytes or pixels again. And just like that, I was out. This was the best visit to Tom's Park so far. Let me know what you think, Tom. It's funny that as I'm recounting this story, I was laughing. So he was having a great time. What comments would you have, Tom? And what little bit of introduction to what Tom's Park really is would you have for our listeners here?
Okay, well, to answer his question, I think that he's doing it all right. He seems to be having a good time interacting, which is how you make Tom's Park work. You know, that's the key to it, is to have lots of interactions. And he's making a new friend that, you notice it started where he just saw the person. Then the person pointed at something. Then the person talked to him, but it was in mumbles. And then the person invited him in with clear language and gave him something to eat. So every time he sees them, he gets a little more connection to that person. And that's good. And he should follow that up. Look for that person, you know, when he's there. And if he's not there, might even bring him up in his intent and say, well, I'd like to meet this short, stocky guy again. And, where will I find him? And he'll probably get a message and, over behind the, whatever. And he'll go there and there he'll be, So he should follow it up and work with it and see where it goes. It could lead nowhere, or it could lead, to one of the most important things in his life. You don't know where it's going to go. So all things like that you should explore. and be open with them and see where they take you. He is obviously out of body. He's in Tom's Park, and the way Tom's Park works is that you start with your imagination. You use as many of your senses as possible. You smell things, you taste things, you see things, you hear things, you feel things, until you get so involved and engaged in it that you're no longer making it up. It just happens. The story just unfolds for you. And when you get to that point, then you're out of body. So Tom's Park is an alternative way to go out of body and do all the other paranormal things as well. There's things in Tom's Park that lead you into remote viewing and communicating and modifying future probability with your intent and all of the paranormal things that there are to do. There's things there that kind of help you move in that direction. But primarily it's there just to help you get into an alternate virtual reality, which is what out of body is. When you go out of body, you go into an alternate virtual reality, a virtual reality that is just as real, just as important, where all of your choices help you evolve and de-evolve, just like all virtual realities. It's not a fake virtual reality or a lesser virtual reality. It's just different than the one we call the physical universe. So he has now found a way, using Tom's Park, to get out of body without going through meditation, without having to listen to a binaural beat, without having to relax first or do anything else. You just go and start with your imagination. So it's a simpler process for those people who have strong intellects, and the intellect gets in the way and keeps them from getting into their intuitive side. And that's a lot of people. There's a whole lot of people that have, the main trouble for them doing out of body or remote viewing or communicating or any of those things is that their intellect wants to be in charge, wants to assess it, wants to judge it. And as soon as your intellect gets involved, then the process disappears, because all paranormal processes happen in the intuitive side. They work through your intuition, not through your intellect. So you have to get in that state where you're just open, an intuitive state where you're open to things happening. So he's being successful. He's going out of body. He's having a good time. He's establishing relationships. And, one of the things that Tom Spark does, other than just give you an environment to interact with, it also sets up possibilities for relationships. There's a staff there with which you can relate and connect. And the staff aren't just mindless, faceless people. They're real people, just like we are. And you can interact with them, and just like you would anybody here. So there's opportunity for relationship. There's opportunity to do all the paranormal things, and there's opportunity just to have a good time and relax and kind of get energized when you come back. So it's another way to approach exploring mind, exploring consciousness.
It's a very detailed virtual reality you've created. The process allows people that are left brain to let go of that, just the process that you deliver in your instructions in Tom's Park. And I think it's interesting for people to know that they can evolve through their choices just as they do here. They can evolve in daydreams or out-of-body experiences. As consciousness, everything you do matters. The choices you make matter. And that includes Tom's Park. It's just a little more fun, as Anthony has shown us. Can you comment on some of the things that he has experienced and how he can take it further now that he's established this way of interacting
Well,
in Tom's
basically, you
Park?
interact in Tom's Park exactly the same way you'd interact here. It's not different. It's just a different virtual reality. So it has a different rule set. Animals talk there. It's a different rule set. There's a little magic there. You can teleport from place to place. Certain places where the teleportation, where you can arrive when you teleport. So it's got some magical things to it. But how does he go forward? Well, just like he would here, he is going to another reality frame, no less real than the reality frame we call physical reality. And he's interacting there with the things he finds there, just like we do here. So the way to interact with it is just exactly like we'd interact here. Run into that guy again. If you don't just see him, then try to find him. Use your intent. So your intent is the thing that makes you travel in consciousness. Your intention is like the motive force in consciousness. It's the thing that allows things to change. So he should go there and just explore. It's just a reality to explore. Just like you got in a spaceship and flew someplace to some other planet in some other part of the universe, you have to get out and just explore it. And whatever lives there, you'd have to interact with it. So it's the same way. And of course, the big difference with Tom Spark is it's safe. If you go out into space in this virtual reality, where you land is likely not to be all that safe. There's only a few places out there that seem to be habitable, or then you have to what kind of things have evolved there that you'd have to deal with, what kind of microbes that you might your body may not be able to handle. I mean, it's all kinds of things that are risky when exploring outer space, but there's almost no risk at all in exploring inner space. So it's a good place to go and interact and grow and evolve through good choices with what you find there. So an out of body is basically a single player game with the LCS. The LCS sends you data stream and you experience. So now the LCS has put this little guy in there for him, particularly for him, because he didn't look for it. It was just there. And then the next time he came, it was still there. And the next time it was still there. So it's something that's in the data stream. And the LCS usually has a reason for doing what it does. And we'll see where that goes. If it turns out that anything significant or not, it may be just something for him to focus on. It's hard to say, but it may lead somewhere very significant for him. And that's the way the system starts out, getting his attention.
I think that's a good point that you make, that this is just for him. These are individual experiences. All of our experiences in dreams and in Tom's Park are individual experiences. It's a subjective reality. So you're making a good point that someone's experience in Tom's Park won't be just like Anthony's. It's their very own that they create through their imagination.
Yeah. I get, a lot of people will see entities there like that. I've had at least a dozen people say, "Oh, I ran into Tom in Tom's Park." I tend to be there a lot for people. Well, he could have said this too. "Oh, because you were building benches, and then cleaning up in the kitchen," and so they might have figured, "Oh, that was Tom in Tom's Park," but not necessarily. It's just somebody you ran into. And if the system wanted it to be Tom, then it would have given you data that would have represented me. But I'm not short and stocky, so it's just somebody you meet there, and don't jump to any conclusions. Just interact, see where it goes, see what happens. But don't just view it like you're watching a TV. You see, he did this correctly. In other words, don't just look at it and say, "Oh, look, there's a stocky little guy making benches. That's interesting. Well, let me go over here and try this other thing." See, when you see something, engage it, connect to it, go over there, strike up a conversation. All the things you do engage. That's important. You have to connect. If you think you're just like you're watching a TV, it's all not active on your part, but you're just there saying, oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Oh, see this other thing. Oh, yeah, let me talk to a squirrel. And you're not really engaging that squirrel, finding out about that squirrel's life and, the issues that squirrel has and what's going on in its life. And, if the conversation should be meaningful and you should engage it in a meaningful way. It's not just a walk through la la land, seeing strange things. It's a new virtual reality. It's a new world. It's a new reality frame for you to explore and explore in depth.
Sure, that's a really good point. Engaging is where the choices come in. Observing, you don't have any choices. So if you're going to be evolving and making choices that count toward your evolution, engaging, just like here, is the key to learning and to evolving.
Yeah, well, this reality, you say, just like here, this reality we call the physical universe isn't in any way different structurally, in what it is and how it's made and what it's made for than any other virtual reality. All those virtual realities are basically the same. It's a data stream from the LCS that forms this virtual reality. The virtual reality exists in the minds of the players. And now it's just a different game. So instead of playing Earth, you're playing something else. You're playing Tom's Park. And Tom's Park can take you into any number of other realities. If you sit on one of those yellow benches, or if you you can go other places, do other things. Or if you're at the pond, the lily pond, there's lots of places that you can leave Tom's Park and go on another adventure from Tom's Park. Tom's Park can become a launch pad for you.
That's
Anyway.
the trips within trips feature,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
that's really good.
That's one of them. And also the hexagon room with all the various places you can launch from there as well. So there's you can use it as a launch pad, or you can just go there and experience it, because it's very rich in its environment and the things you can do and the interactions you can have. It's just as rich, if not richer, than this physical reality that we're in. So
and safer.
And much, much safer. Yes, there's nothing in Tom's Park that can hurt you, or even mildly, annoy you. There's nothing there like that. Everything has been designed to be safe and to not cause you any negative feelings. You lie down in the grass, it doesn't itch afterwards. There are no bugs that will bite you. There's no flies that will get in your way or eat your food. There just isn't anything there that is negative. Nothing there will hurt. Even the large animals, the bears and the other things that live there, they're not going to hurt you.
Well, thank you, Tom, for commenting. And thank you, Anthony, for submitting your observations. And I hope this encourages you to explore further and have more fun in Tom's Park. And remember, choices matter, so choose wisely.
Yeah. And Donna, it's the reason I made that park is because it offers an alternative way for people to get out of body. I have the course where I try to teach people out of body, and I have lots and lots of left-brain people whose intellects are very strong, and they just won't let their owner, get into that intuitive space. It's very hard for them to let go of that intellect because it's their whole life. That's been their source. That's been what keeps them out of trouble. That is what they live by. And this Tom's Park then doesn't have that. You don't have to go the meditation route into out of body, or the, relax, listen to binaural beats, all of that. You don't have to go that route. It's just a simple, there's no prerequisites. You just go there and start with your imagination. I guess that's the only prerequisite, is that you have an imagination. And once you start imagining in all 5 of your senses, you'll get engaged, most people, very easily until the imaginative story just kind of runs off by itself.
Yeah.
And when it does that, now you have a link to the LCS and you're out of body. So it's a daydream that gets a life of its own. And that's the process of getting out of body, which is a much simpler and easier process for left-brain people who are very intellectual to do. And from that space, you can do all the paranormal things. So that was the whole point of it, was to create another path that was easier for intellectual people to experience the out-of-body state and to explore their own consciousness.
Thank you, Tom. That's a great little synopsis of it. And thanks again, Anthony.
I and MBT Events hope you liked this video. We will continue to post videos for free on my YouTube channel, but please understand, these videos are expensive to produce. They represent many thousands of hours of production and editing, as well as all the necessary audiovisual equipment, computers, and software. If you find something of significant value in our videos, please consider supporting their production through our Patreon account or through a one-time donation. It would be very much appreciated. The links are in the description below. Thank you.